Good evening, everyone, and welcome to I'll say it again. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Apex Racing TV and to the BSR MX5 Monday Cup. My name's Ryan Walker, and alongside me on the cameras and commentating alongside me as well is Marco Barbanera. And yeah, I have to apologise for my screw up at the beginning there, but Marco, it's good to be racing at Spa tonight, which is famous for hosting the Belgian Grand Prix in Formula One in real life, and also the WEC and also the European Le Mans series and other various stuff. So yeah, it's a great track.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ryan. I think you were a little bit excited about me coming
Yeah,
back from, I think, around 2 weeks of no broadcasting, basically, due to week 13 happening and last week being very, very busy in real life. It's great to be here. It's one of my favorite tracks, both in iRacing and in real life, and this series really has blossomed from the humble beginnings a couple of seasons ago into now a proper series, a proper league, and MX5s around Spa. It's always great excitement. We are going to have lots and lots and lots of drafting, and I am expecting a lot of close battles all over the field in the 3 races tonight.
absolutely. Yeah, we're just in the middle of qualifying at the moment, and yeah, I know you weren't here last month. Real life commitments, and I believe you were on a Marshall training course. I think it was.
Yes, and unfortunately for all the drivers in Italy, I passed the test. So, as of last Thursday, I'm officially track marshal for auto racing. I already was one for the motorcycle racing, but in the car world, at least in Italy, bikes was like half day and you got a license. In the cars, you had to do 4 days of training and do an exam at the end. So it was a lot tougher, but honestly, I cannot wait to begin and to be very, very close to the drivers, to the cars. And also, I can be introduced as a licensed track marshal. At least I can say I have some qualification to be in the booth. I don't know. All of you guys win this, win that, team champion, BSR champion. I have that going for me. And but let's focus on these drivers, Ryan, because look at that already in qualifying. Everyone super close to each other, and everyone is trying to get a little bit of draft among teammates, or if you don't have teammates, trying to sneak into somebody else's draft train, or maybe with a friend, trying to get the most speed possible out of this qualifying section, because if you don't have a draft around here, it's very, very tough, both in the race, because if you lose the draft, it's tough to get back into the pack, and of course in qualifying, because you want to get that top speed especially in the straights.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Spa Francorchamps is one of those tracks that if it seems to be you can gain loads of time in the slipstream, and just yeah, as you say, but it's good to try and get a slipstream off your teammate or off a car in front of you. And yeah, Spa is just basically one of those tracks, iconic tracks. I just love to either commentate on or race around. It's just, well, for me, it's just one of those tracks that I could just, along with Sebring and Le Mans and Daytona, for example, I could just lap around all day and I would never get bored. There's yeah, currently just looking at one of the Fury SimSport cars at the moment. I believe that is Anthony. That's no, not Anthony Ainsworth. That's James Eaglestone. Currently sitting in pole position at the moment for Fury SimSport with yeah, Ben Sharp in second place and Edward May in third place, rounding out the top three. And yeah, I have to say, last week it was for you, Marco. I know you weren't here, so yeah, it was absolutely fantastic racing. And if you haven't watched the broadcast back or had a chance to watch it back yet, I highly recommend watching it back. It was just absolutely fantastic racing around TSUKUBA.
Yeah, I remember from last season when the amateur series went there for the first time. It was an absolute spectacle, and the same happened then in the Tuesday series as well. The track really plays nicely with this car, just like Spa. But Spa, we knew it, but Tsukuba was absolutely a surprise given that it was the first season that we ran that, and I'm a bit sad that we already went there for this season. So, because I remember that last season there were 3 races scheduled for the night, and the drivers had so much fun that they scheduled a 4th unofficial race after that 3rd race last season in the Amateur Cup. So, really, these drivers love running around the track, and I'm sure they love running around this track as well. Taking a look at some of the drivers, we have Ben Sharp trying to get a tow from his teammate Edward May, trying to beat his teammate, giving a little bit of tow again. That's Eaglestone, and there's another Fury Sim Sport car somewhere in there. I think it's Dan Blake, yes. We have some drivers trying to finish their lap, for example. Year 1 Racing, you see Alex Rivette, and I think behind him should be Steve Cooley. Exactly, and Cooley doesn't have a lap time as of yet. Rivette moves out of the way to give his teammate the best run possible through the final corner. And Steve Cooley sets his first time of the day, and I think P16, so not what he was looking for, I think. As other drivers are coming, Mikey Key, for example, sitting in P13. He doesn't improve. Andy Maxwell also coming, not improving as well. We have, a quality field today. Oh, wow.
What is it? Mikey Key runs wide at turn 1, or keeps his foot to the floor and runs into the wall.
A little bit, that it's better to do this kind of testing in qualifying or in practice, in the race. Usually, it's not recommended, as the sun is coming out from behind the clouds, and I think this will render, it will be tough to get to better your lap, because when the sun is out, track gets a little bit hotter. We've seen it during the past season, I should say, and this is now the 2nd season, even though it seems yesterday that iRacing implemented dynamic weather with moving sun, moving clouds, and day-to-night transitions. So we should be used to that, but it's always nice to see the sun peeking from behind the clouds. Other drivers coming toward the start-finish line. Eaglestone trying to improve his time. Behind him, we also have Ben Sharp there, Edward May also. Like we saw before with the Year 1 Racing guys, Eaglestone moves out of the way to give May the best run possible. Edward May is in 3rd. Will he improve on his time? And drum roll, please. He does, but he's still in 3rd. So Ben Sharp is in 2nd, not improving his time. Martin Sampson, I think, Ryan, is the last guy, and he won't have time to finish his lap. Oh no, he will. Here he is, sitting in P12, and I think aborting his attempt at a quick lap. And so I think we are just waiting for the session to switch over. Then we will be ready for the first race of 3 tonight. Absolutely, I cannot wait.
Absolutely, qualifying is just coming to a close, and once the session switches over, we will take you through the grid. As James Eaglestone takes pole position for Fury Simsport alongside him his teammate Ben Sharp in 2nd, and then alongside them is the first of the Year 1 racing cars with Edward May in 3rd place. But Barry qualifies in a fantastic 4th place for Result Clothing. Alongside him his teammate Craig Jones, Alex Rivette's in 6th. Alongside him is Andy Maxwell in 7th. 8th position is Carl Jacqueline, and 9th place is Carl Hardy. And then rounding out the top 10 is Scott Malcolm. David Ayres qualifies in 11th, and alongside him in 12th is Martin Sampson. And then qualifying in 13th is Mikey Key, 14th is Ryan Oliver, 15th is Simon Wotton, 16th is Steve Cooley, 17th is Anthony Ainsworth, 18th is John Moore, 19th place is Dan Blake, and rounding out the grid in 20th position is Daniel Rowbottom.
Yes, I'm seeing the new UK and Ireland club flags on the overlay. Nice job from Pascal. I really, really like them. Hopefully it will stop from having international diplomatic accidents when we have the Benelux club drivers with the Netherlands flag, and maybe they are from Belgium or from Luxembourg, and we get very angry comments. No, I'm kidding, of course, but you know, it's a touchy subject, and everyone wants to have their national flag in the overlay. And iRacing puts some nations all in the same club, and that can lead to problems. Luckily, unbelievably, Italy doesn't have this problem. We are on our own. But for example, the Iberia club for Spain and Portugal gets a similar problem as well, as we are 10 seconds away from the start of the race. Dan Blake hasn't gridded yet. Maybe he has to, go for a penalty for a pit start, but I think we are ready to go.
Absolutely, as we're just waiting for the lights to come on, and once the lights goes out, we will be underway with the first race of the evening. As the lights are off and away we go for race one. As James Eaglestone gets a great start off the line, and Ben Sharp behind him in second place, and behind them is Edward May as they head into turn one. And it looks like I wonder if everyone will get through cleanly, as everyone's getting bunched up, but it looks like everyone's made it through turn one relatively clean. As I've seen a car in the background running wide there, but yep, everyone through turn one nice and clean. I wonder if everyone will get through Eau Rouge unharmed as well, as a leader comes up through Eau Rouge, James Eaglestone.
Yes, everyone was very respectful coming out of the first corner.
Oh! 2 cars around.
Hopefully only 2. Yes, it's Martin Sampson. I think that is Steve Cooley. So starting the night with his trademark big crash. Hopefully he has a better run for the rest of the night. Everyone was very respectful there at the beginning. I think that they were very, very taking it easy through the La Source hairpin. And then a little bit of contact going up the hill. But we have a new leader. It's Ben Sharp, followed by James Eaglestone and Edward May behind him. Edward May, who is apparently a driver for Fury Simsport and not for Year 1 Racing as I have it in the overlay, so let's get that fixed very, very quickly.
Yep, I'm just looking through the field, and it looks like everyone's made it through. It looks like most of the cars have made it through so far on lap one relatively unscathed, but yeah, a couple of cars at the back having issues with Steve Cooley and someone else. I can't admit, I'm not sure who the other car was, but yeah, I'm real unfortunate for Steve Cooley just getting caught up in that incident on lap one on the exit of Eau Rouge. But yeah, just looking back up towards the front with our three leaders with Ben Sharp, James Eaglestone, and Edward May. But at the moment it's a Fury Simsport 1, 2, 3 with the first of the Year 1 racing cars and fourth of Alex Rivette, as we just look at the replay of Steve Cooley to see what happened.
Yeah, see, everyone was very, very, very respectful going to the hairpin. People coming to a halt, so that is nice. But then something bad happened. If we go down the hill here, we will go back to that in a bit, because we have some live action going on with the three leaders for Fury Simsport, and Alex Rivette is tagging along. His teammate Carlo Giacoletti is a little bit behind, followed by Craig Jones, Mick Barry, Carl Hardy, all the usual train, the Result Clothing train. And I have to say that new Result Clothing livery, while not a big change from the past, is very, very nice, because every driver has its trademark color, if I'm not mistaken. So that is absolutely very, very good and easy to spot, I'd say.
Absolutely. As I was just watching one of the Fury Simsport cars making a move on David Ayres. I believe that was Daniel Rowbottom making a move on David Ayres into turn one and picking up taking 11th place from David Ayres, I should say. As we look at a replay heading up through Eau Rouge in lap one to see what happened. As it looks like Samson just lost it and clipped Steve Cooley.
Yeah.
That was really unfortunate for Steve. He was just an innocent victim in that incident, and there's nothing he could do. He was just a passenger right when he was going by, and just unfortunately got clipped. As we look back back through the field up towards the front with some of the Result Clothing guys, and it looks like they're starting to tussle amongst themselves.
Yeah, Result Clothing also having to, they weren't terrible last season, but they certainly took a back seat, I think, in respect to Fury and Year One, were the real, protagonists as a team of this championship. Reserve Clothing were always there, but they missed, I think, a little bit of extra, in order to fight at the top, because you can see quite clearly that the field is almost evenly spread out in trains of cars of the same team, with just a few exceptions here and there. So it's obvious that these guys work together to get the setup in practice. So the pace is similar, and as we can see, by the way, Alex Rivette has jumped James Eaglestone and is now sitting in P3, breaking this Fury Simsport train.
Absolutely, it looks like Rivette is on the move, and I think he'll be up behind these two Fury Simsport cars in front of him, of Edward May and Ben Sharp. And I think even if Alex Rivette does get by, the Fury Simsport guys will still be able to stick with him, just because of the strong nature of the slipstream around Spa.
Also, as you can see, overcast weather, and this means, of course, tons of grip, more or less, because this car is always a bit tail happy. As Rivette fancied his chances just for a second there at the final chicane, maybe trying to jump May. Then he thought better of it. Fastest lap of the race, already beaten by Giacoletti and now by Carl Hardy, and now Daniel Rowbottom behind him, as the drivers go down the hill for the third time this race. You see, Rivette is trying to get, trying to find just a little bit of space, but I think, he would be, with how big the draft is in this car, I think if he gets a good exit from here, he can go for a move here on the Cameron Street. But look at Eaglestone also using that draft, as we can have, I think, a very, very spicy situation just a few hundred meters at the Lecombe chicane.
Absolutely. Rivette tried to tuck in behind Edward May, but he just had no space, and Rivette up the inside of Edward May and moves up the inside for second place. But what contact!
And a great save by his teammate Giacoletti.
Contact between the two Year One racing teammates. That was
very unlucky, because Rivette saved the car, and Giacoletti couldn't stop in time, and now you have two very, very damaged Year One racing cars. Of course, Giacoletti with a smashed front end, and Rivette with the same damage on the rear end, and now going wide. I think he has also a little bit of suspension trouble. He's letting everyone by, more or less. Now Daniel Rowbottom is behind him. But what an unfortunate situation. And in all this, Carl Giacoletti jumps to third place, despite having a not ideal situation with his car. As Rowbottom also making up 14 places from the start of the race. He joined the server in the very, very last seconds of the qualifying session. He was able to, I don't think he got one lap in. He started from the back and already up to P6. Like I said, 14 places gained. As in the front, Ben Sharp, Edward May, a little bit of gap between them, and of course they are profiting from the chaos behind them, because you see the gap between them and Giacoletti, with now Eaglestone going on the inside of Blanchimon. What a brave move, that one. This is Blanchimon, sorry. I'm a bit rusty, apologies.
That's no problem. I was about to say that was a great move by Eaglestone up the inside of Giacoletti, heading up to Blanchimon, as everyone's starting to bunch up into the final chicane, and it's causing a bit. It's car spin in the background.
Of course, it's the commentator's curse. Daniel Rowbottom is around, losing many positions and a bit of damage as well. Also, I think David Ayres was involved in that. Giacoletti is nowhere to be found at the moment. Let's get back to the front while we search for him.
I was about to say that was a bit of a dodgy rejoin by Rowbottom there. He just he kept his foot flat when he spun, and just about took a couple of other cars out when he spun round. As we're just looking at a replay to see what happened. Oh, yeah, that was a bit. If I was Daniel Rowbottom, I would have just waited until everyone went by instead of just getting back on the power straight away. But I don't like to call people out, but sometimes it's better to stay still.
Aye, Scott Malcolm. Massive hit. The car with a massive deceleration, and I think that is it. Yes, it towed back to the pits. So all is happening when we have 5 minutes left in the race, Ryan, and we've seen some... I mean, that was a... I don't know if you can see what happened to Jacolet, maybe a disconnection, because he disappeared and never came back.
Yeah, I'm just... excuse me, I just had to quickly cough there, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Jackally. He just disappeared from the standings, or he dropped down the standings, and maybe maybe he had a screen freeze or a disconnect. But yeah, as I look back through the field towards the top 10, looking at Daniel Rowbottom at the moment, and yeah, he's starting to slowly, or he's quickly catching up to these guys in front of him again with Mick Barry and Andy Maxwell, and also Alex Rivette as well. So yeah, it's been a bit of a chaotic race, Marco, but it's a good way to kick off the evening.
Yes, and also remember, this season we have the reverse wheel, which I'm very happy for, and we will be using it after this race and after race 2 to determine the starting grid for race 2 and 3, as Maxwell and Mick Barry, Alex Rivette also going at it, using all of the track and a bit more.
Oh, Mick Barry around the outside. Oh, that was a brilliant move.
As we have... we need split screen for this series. I always said, look at this, they go basic... Oh, another... now I think Rivette...
Oh, Mick Barry's been disqualified.
Mick Barry is... Yeah, it disappeared. So, pardon me for, my absolutely lack of professionality. I remember last season there were no disqualification limit in this series, so... If there is this year in this series, maybe that's why also Jacolet disappeared, because maybe they exceeded the incident limit.
Absolutely. Just looking back up at the front, towards our leader Ben Sharp, and also looking back through the field as well. We're on board with Alex Rivette as we head through Eau Rouge, and right in front of him is Daniel Rowbottom from Fury Sim Sports. So yeah, it's we've only got about probably 2 laps remaining, I believe, Marco. So yeah, fantastic racing throughout the field at the moment, and it's a great way to kick off the evening. And I'll be interested to see what the reverse grid wheel throws up for race 2 and 3.
As we are heading into the braking area once again, Rivette, Maxwell and Ayers. Rivette, of course, like I said, with his damaged race car. Also Daniel Rowbottom with a bit of damage. Let's see what Maxwell does here, because I think that Rivette has also front-end damage, together with the rear-end damage he got when Jacolet unfortunately bumped into him a few laps ago, as we have a nice view of the trees there. And Ryan, of course, the fact that there's an incident limit, of course in Spa especially, can change things quite a lot. Even if it's a short race, it's quite easy to rack up the incident points around this track. And in a series where, we know that the BSR guys, they don't shy away from a bit of hard racing, as Maxwell goes very wide.
Yeah, I think the dog's enjoying the action as well.
I would love to say that this was my dog, but it wasn't. And we leave it at that, as we go back to the front with Ben Sharp in the lead, with Edward May in second. Eagleston is in third, so Fury 1, 2 and 3. Then we have 3 result clothing guys. Then once again we go back to this fight for P8 with David Ayers all of a sudden from 10th to 8th, thanks to Maxwell's mistake. Now Maxwell, of course, using a little bit of slipstream to get by the damaged number 13 of Rivette. as I guess this is the this will be the next one, the final lap of the race. Ben Sharp already crossed the start finish line as Mikey Key gets his personal best. This is the closest battle we have on the field. Also Simon Watton here going a bit slowly. Ryan Oliver getting by. James Eaglestone under pressure from Craig Jones. This will be the fight for the last podium spot in this first race.
Absolutely. As just looking at third place, Fury Sunsport driver James Eaglestone. Right behind him is Craig Jones from Zoltloven. So, yeah, this battle for the final podium position could be decided in the final few corners or in the run up to the final chicane. As Eaglestone defends his line from Craig Jones, and Craig Jones is trying everything to get by, but. Yeah, I wonder if Craig Jones is going to try and go around the outside. I thought he was going to try it, but Eaglestone manages to hold the position for now. But yeah, I have to say, everywhere you look, there's been a battle everywhere. As we look back at David Ayres and Andy Maxwell, and currently battling for 8th place. And yeah, I have to say, so far this season, Marco, the racing's been great. Even though we've only had 2 rounds, or nearly 2 rounds, I should say. But yeah, it's just proof that this Monday Cup is just, even though it doesn't get the big numbers like the Tuesday series, it can still produce great racing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if this first race is, an indicator of what's to come, I think the race 2 and race 3 will be can't miss races, as Ayres on the inside of Maxwell. Great battle between these two guys. As all of a sudden we have a battle for the lead. Or is just Sharp, lifting a bit to get a little bit of a parade end for Fury Sport 1 and 2. I remember when the Audis used to dominate at Le Mans in the early 2000s. You had the 3 cars, the red, the yellow and the black, I think, with finishing all 3 together on the start-finish line. Sharp is holding his line as they go through Blanchimont. May peeking on the left side, on the outside of the final chicane. Will he go for it?
Oh, he tried to go on the outside, but Sharp's held on, and yeah, Sharp's going to cross the line and take the first race of the evening, I should say, and takes the one in race 1. Oh, as Edward May crosses the line backwards. So yeah, that's a interesting way of finishing a race. But looking at his battle with Team Maxwell and Ayres, Maxwell gets a position off Ayres, but Ayres is trying to come back, and Maxwell's going to hold on for 8th place, and David Ayres is going to finish 9th, and Alex Rivette is going to finish in 10th place just behind them. And then we've got Oliver and Watton crossing the line together, and yeah, I think just waiting for a few other cars to come across the line, and we should be done with race 1, I think.
Martin Sampson, I mean, he finished on the lead lap, so he will be eligible for the reverse. But in the first lap, he was on 2 wheels on his side at Rouge, so absolutely incredible. Scott Malcolm, Steve Cooley also coming back. They will be 1 lap down, eligible for the reverse. So while we wait for them, let's see what happened in that. Not here, but we had, Edward May, who finished in... I am a bit confused. Edward May, I think, got a slowdown. Oh no, he went around. Sorry, guys. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Apologies, like I said, I'm a bit rusty. You cannot believe how 2 weeks away from the job, the damage that they can do to you. I was so focused on Ben Sharp crossing the start-finish line for the victory that I didn't notice, like, P2 spinning right behind him as Scott Malcolm comes through. And here comes Steve Cooley as well. It's got a little bit of a way to go, but he will be sitting in P18 and eligible for the reverse grid.
Absolutely. They're just waiting for Steve Cooley to come around, and Yeah. So yeah, I don't think anyone's been lapped. So I think everyone that finishes, or I think anyone that has finished and has been lapped, I think correct me if I'm wrong, Marco, they're eligible for the reverse I'll say it again, reverse grid wheel.
You have to be one lap down or better. So
Okay.
everyone, excluding Mick Barry and Carl Jacolet, will be eligible for the reverse, if I'm not mistaken. So as Cooley comes and gets some nice TV time on the camera, so good for him. He finishes in 18th, and we are basically ready to give you the unofficial, unofficial results for this first race of the night, and Ryan will take you through them.
Absolutely. As just waiting for results to come up, and here we are. Yeah, Ben Sharp takes the first win of the evening in race one. Behind him is James Eaglestone in second. Rounding out the top three is Craig Jones for Result Clothing. Teammate Mikey Key finishes in fourth. Fifth place is Edmund May. Sixth is Carl Hardy. Seventh place is Daniel Rowbottom. Eighth place is Andy Maxwell. Ninth place is David Ayres. 10th place is Alex Rivet. Dan Blake finishes in 11th, but I believe Dan Blake is a pro driver for this season. But I'm more than happy to be corrected by him if he sees it, if he's in the chat. 12th place is Anthony Ainsworth. 13th is Ryan Oliver. 14th place is Simon Wotton. 15th is John Moore. 16th, sorry, is Martin Sampson. 17th is Scott Malcolm. Steve Cooley finishes in 18th. And I think that's
Yeah, it's important if I turn the page. Sorry, Ryan.
no problem. Mick Barry got disqualified, I think. Yeah, the 20th is Carl Jacolate. He retired as well, and Nick McCarron, I believe, didn't take the start and is doing the admin duties, I believe. So yeah, that's it for race one, and yeah, don't forget race two and race three is coming up soon, and also before we go for a break, just a reminder as well that you can follow us on social media. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch. Also, you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and also give us a follow on Instagram. And also, you can follow or visit our website at www.apexracingtv.com. And yeah, don't forget to go away. And also, at the moment, currently running or currently being broadcast on Apex Racing TV is the World GT Championship from Mosport, which is being broadcast on Apex Racing TV on the iRaces Esports Network. So, yeah, while you're waiting, give that a watch, and don't forget to come back and watch race two in just a few moments' time.
But before we go away, the reverse wheel, the all-important
Oh yeah,
reverse wheel.
my bad.
Oh, don't worry, man. So this is, as you can read from the graphics, it's the BSR IMSA Grand Tour reverse wheel. If you remember that series, temporary one. We will get a new one in a couple of weeks' time, maybe next week if I can get around how Unity works. So, if I'm not mistaken, it's the numbers on the wheel are exactly what it is, with the exception that -2, -3, and -4 will represent a full reverse based on what we said with the organizers. But of course, they will decide. But I think that's the way it will work. So let's roll it. So, absolutely no drama this time around. It's 18, the number of the drivers eligible for the reverse, and so Steve Cooley will get rewarded by his perseverance of continuing with a destroyed race car to start on pole position in race 2. Scott Malcolm in the first row, Martin Sampson, another guy that had a lot of trouble in the first couple of corners, will sit in third, and John Moore, Simon Watton. This is the top 5, Ryan. And now I think we can go for a nice break.
Absolutely. So yeah, me and Mark was just going to go for a commercial break for a few moments, and yeah, don't forget to come back and watch race two. And for more excellent racing on Apex Racing TV. So we will see you in a few moments' time.
cleared. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
Alibaba is $10,500 richer. Two-time NASCAR legend is your 2013 NASCAR iRacing. It's going to be Humvee winning the race, and it's going to be Conti taking away his first NASCAR
2017 NASCAR Beginner-Free Series Championship to Ryan Luza. Federer is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Beginner-Free iRacing Series.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Apex Racing TV for race 2 of the evening in the BSR MX5 Cup. And yeah, quickly on the screen is the grid for race 2. Steve Cooley takes pole position, second place is Scott Malcolm, third place is Martin Sampson, fourth place is John Moore, fifth place is Simon Wotton, sixth place is Ryan Oliver, seventh place is Anthony Ainsworth, Dan Blake in eighth, alongside him is Alex Ovett. Rounding out the top 10 is David Ayres. 11th place is Andy Maxwell, 12th place is Carl Hardy, 13th place is Edward May, Mikey Key is alongside him in 14th place, 15th place is Craig Jones, 16th place is James Eaglestone, 7th place is Ben Sharp, 18th place is Mick Barry, and rounding out the grid in 19th is Kyle Giacoletti. And the lights are just coming on for the start of race 2, and the lights out and away we are, or away we go for race 2 I should say, as Steve Cooley gets a great start off the line. Behind him is Scott Malcolm for result clothing. Also in third place is Martin Sampson, and yep, heading into turn 1, it looks like everyone's managed to make it through relatively unscathed, but I'm just looking throughout the field to see if anything else is happening. And it looks like everyone's made it through turn 1 relatively unscathed, Marco.
Absolutely, all looking nice going down Eau Rouge with Steve Cooley and Scott Malcolm side by side. We have a massive crash in the back, and I think it's Steve Cooley again and Edward May, if I'm not mistaken. They both were involved in a big crash as the pack is going towards Lecombe for the first time.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for Steve Cooley. He just got sideways. He just got sideways on the exit of Eau Rouge and just unfortunately whacked the wall again. But yeah, what that has allowed Martin Sampson to do is move into the lead, and Scott Malcolm's in second place, and behind Scott Malcolm is Ryan Oliver for Fury Simsport. So yeah, looks like I'm not sure if Martin Sampson's in Fury Simsport or not. I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah, yeah, it's a bit of an eventful first lap at the moment so far, Marco.
Absolutely, very eventful first lap, and I think that was... oh, we have a little bit of problem with the cameras. Okay, should be back now. Oops. Okay, sorry about that. Let's go back to the racing then. Yes, Martin Sampson, I have him with a all purple livery, so I don't think he's a part of Fury Simsport. Scott Malcolm in second. Let's go very quickly back to that big crash at the very beginning of the race. See if it already happened here. No, it didn't. Let's see. Steve Cooley is not having a good night.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's really unfortunate for Steve, but yeah, just looking to see what happened. And Scott Malcolm tries to make a move up the inside into a ruse, which was a bit ballsy, but
it was a separate crash. Apologies. My apologies. So something else happened in the back. Sorry, something happened in the back. That's what we knew happened for sure. I think it's David Ayres and Edward May then. Oh yeah, here we go. It was a bad hit for both of these drivers.
It looks like David Ayres. David Ayres just he didn't leave Edward May much room, and just unfortunately the two of them got caught up. And yeah, Edward May hit the wall.
Oh no! Whoa. That was Wotton and Giacoletti, I think. The year 1 guys are having some trouble tonight. And they hit each other once again. This time is Giacoletti and Wotton, as Carl Hardy goes on the on the outside of James Eaglestone. And Scott Malcolm, the amateur champion from a few seasons ago in the MX5 proper series, if I'm not mistaken, and a title he won by being super consistent, is in the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Scott Malcolm's up into the lead at the moment, and yeah, he's doing a good job at the moment so far. But we're only on lap 2, and right behind him is Martin Sampson, and we know how hard Scott likes to defend, and he won't let Martin go that easy. But Martin's up the inside, and it looks like he'll be making a move up the inside for the lead, and takes the lead from Scott Malcolm.
Nice move there. I just noticed we are missing the standings there. Trying to find out where they went. Oh, here we go. Nice move there from Martin Sampson to take the lead, as we have this other pack here with many drivers fighting it out. And since Dan Blake started from the pits again, I guess it's official that he's a pro, and this will be reflected in the standings on the left immediately.
Absolutely. Yeah, still looking up at the front at the moment. Martin Sampson is starting to pull away from Scott Malcolm, and yeah, Scott's doing a good job at the moment in second place, but he's not letting Martin get away that easy. But Martin is also slowly building up a gap as we look back up towards the end of the top 10 with a couple of the result clothing guys with Craig Jones and Carl Hardy. And I do like the different result clothing liveries, Marco. The different colours. It makes it easier to tell who each driver is.
Yeah, I still remember when they were all red and then they switched to all white because they were very similar to the then Momo Racing team. If you remember, it was always they were two of the bigger teams in the Tuesday MX5 series, and you had all these red cars all over the place. No, it was tough to spot them, so they said we are switching to white to differentiate with them. And now even better because, like I said earlier, having a color for each driver, which is a pretty popular thing. You see also the Year 1 guys have different mirrors for each driver and also a different windshield strip there. So, I mean, it's very colorful, so I like it. And also it helps us in the commentary booth as Eaglestone gets the fastest lap of the race. It's a 2:49.0, and now Blake, the pro driver, 2:48.5, as Malcolm has a run on Martin Sampson.
I wonder if they're going to go side by side for a ruse. Surely one of these guys is going to have to lift as they go through a ruse, and Malcolm manages to retake the lead through a ruse. If that was a fair play to Malcolm, that was a great move. But yeah, with regards to the colours, Marco, I have to say it kind of reminds me of the old Sauber F1 cars when they ran the Red Bull liveries. These on the cars, or in the mid 2000s, used to have the mirrors in different colours. I think, but if my memory is correct, one car used to have yellow mirrors, and the other car used to have red mirrors, I believe. But
Yes, I remember those. That livery was great. Absolutely great.
Just looking back up at the front as well. Currently, Ryan Oliver is in second, and I think Oliver, if he can get away from Sampson, he can close the gap on Scott Malcolm and try and take the lead. And I have to say, Scott Malcolm's having a great race. He's not made any mistakes so far, and on his day, he's one of the quickest drivers.
Absolutely, and like we said just a few seconds ago, also very, very consistent as Anthony Ainsworth goes wide. Alex Rivette gets by his teammate. James Eaglestone gets a shoulder barge from Ainsworth as they now are almost 3 wide as they go into the into the fine chicane right before the double right-hander at the karting track. Here we go, the double right-hander. Like I always say when we are here, if you go in real life to Spa-Francorchamps, the best place to get your drinks is right here, in this bar inside of the karting track. Open during the racing days as well.
Sounds like I need to make a trip to Spa at some point after you said that, Marco, because I do love my beer.
Yeah, I remember having breakfast on Saturday morning, the day of the 24-hour race, with French fries at 10 a.m. And a beer. When I was young and wild, as Oliver on the inside of Malcolm. Malcolm has a better exit, and now I think Oliver has to be careful because Sampson got a nice exit there. The pack is still very much all together as they start lap 4. Malcolm in first, Oliver, Sampson, and Rivette has also joined this party as well. And let's see what happens as they go down to Rouge. Always a tricky moment because you never know what your opponent does here, and if your opponent has a little bit of a problem, you might very well get involved.
Absolutely. As these four come through a ruse, and as it Rivette gets a bit sketchy on the exit over ruse, and he loses a few tenths to the cars in front of him. But yeah, it looks like Samson has got a run on Oliver as they head up to it's free wide. Who's going to duck out first, or who's going to? Yeah, it looks like contact.
Oh no! And
Samson's
around
around.
goes Samson. Oliver has some damage. Let's see, they managed to avoid him. Scott Malcolm, I think, pardon the terrible pun, went by scot-free there because I think he just maybe nudged the speeding 79 machine of Samson, and his car looks good. Rivette is in second. And let's get very quickly to the replay and see what happened there from the chopper.
Yeah, it looks like a. It looked like a. I can't remember what Fury Simsport car that was, but it looks like he got.
That was Oliver, Ryan Oliver.
It was Oliver. It looks like Oliver was in front, and he had the position into the corner, but I don't think he left enough room for Samson, and unfortunately, it just resulted in some contact between the two cars, and yeah, Malcolm was fortunate to go by them with a bit of contact as well. But yeah, still in the lead, Scott Malcolm, but right behind him is Alex Rivette, and we know how quick Alex Rivette is, and Scott Malcolm's not going to make it easy for Rivette to go by him. But Rivette has got the run as they head up to Bonsemont, and if I was Rivette, what would you do if you were Rivette, Marco? Would you try and go round the outside into Bonsemont?
I mean, the fastest lap that Rivette has is almost 2 seconds quicker than Malcolm, so I don't think he needs to force the issue, even though Oliver and Jones are coming from behind. Oh, look at that! Another shoulder barge there, a little bit, and Rivette is in. Oliver tries to sneak his nose and turns around Scott Malcolm. As he has to be very careful, wisely turns his wheel to the right and then a bit to the left. Bad luck there. We've seen some unfortunate contacts in this second race, as now Rivette is in the lead. Oliver and Jones side by side. Also there Eaglestone up to P4, 12 places gained for James Eaglestone in this second race of the night. As they go into Eau Rouge once again, Jones doesn't force the issue, very smart thing to do, and now he's in fourth with Ainsworth in fifth. The pro driver Dan Blake is up to P7. Simon Watton with his damaged race car is right behind Martin Sampson, so everything is happening here as Jones and Ainsworth side by side into the Lecombe chicane. Then Jones takes an alternative line there, gets an off track for his troubles.
Absolutely. Yeah, currently in the lead at the moment is Alex Rivette, but not far behind Rivette is or it was Ryan Oliver, but James Eaglestone has moved up into second. Oh, contact!
Contact there, Ainsworth and Jones. They save the car. Eaglestone goes very wide there, but I think he's able to make the move on his teammate. So now it's Eaglestone in second, Oliver in third, Alex Rivette pulling away in the lead. You see 1.5 seconds over second place now. The Fury Simsport guys need to work together. There's not much time left. I think one lap after this one, Ryan, if I'm not mistaken. I think they will get onto the start-finish line before the time runs out. As I'm seeing also Steve Cooley is back on the track, trying to... Still on the lead lap, despite his crash once again in the first lap, so I think he will be eligible for the reverse once again. As Craig Jones keeping a close contact with Ryan Oliver, as that was Carl Hardy going a bit wide. So 1 minute left to the 50-minute mark. The cars are getting into the final chicane, and so I think there will be one more lap.
Absolutely. Alex Rivette up at the front at the moment. He's got about about a 1 second gap to the cars behind him. But yeah, the two Fury Simsport cars behind him in second and third, with James Eaglestone and Ryan Oliver, are slowly catching him. As there's a bit of contact between Key and Maxwell, and yeah, it's I have to say, Marco, throughout the field there's been a bit of shoulder barging or a bit of bumping and rubbing, and yeah, it's everyone seems to be everyone seems to
Oh,
avoid
someone went
Cruz
around.
Vegas.
It's Ryan Oliver, and he's stopped in the middle of the first corner. People scrambling left and right. I think he has a big issue because he is... oh, contact there. Contact with... Oh, wow, that was really unfortunate. Let's see what happened there. Here is Ryan Oliver locking his brakes. We will get to that at the end of the race, I promise you, because we have to see how this race will pan out. But Ryan Oliver then stopped, basically. He wasn't disqualified. Maybe he had some big damage to his car. But let's see. I think Rivette has the win in his bag, but the battle for P2 downwards, it's all open. Greg Jones is here, and we have Anthony Ainsworth. Dan Blake, the pro driver, is in third. So basically it's like he's... I wouldn't say invisible, but of course for the battle for third place is this one. Ainsworth versus Carl Hardy. I think. At least this season it was like this. Last season it was like this. Let's see if this season it's the same. As... let's see who blinks first, if Hardy goes for a move or Ainsworth decides to defend in a tough way. By the way, the numbers 1 to 10 are, if I'm not mistaken, indicating the top 10 finishers of last seasons in this championship. So, for example, Greg Jones finished 4th and Blake was the champion last year, of course.
Absolutely. There's still got this battle for 4th place going on between Ainsworth and Hardy, and just looking back up at the front as well, Alex Rivette is coming up to the final few corners, and just he's on the run up to Bonson, and then after Bonson, he's only got the final chicane to go, and then he should, if I don't jinx him, he should have the win in the bag for race 2. And I have to say, Alex Rivette he's managed to pounce when everyone else has had issues, and managed to take the lead and build up a bit of a gap. And it's been a fantastic drive by him, and he's just heading up to the final chicane with Craig Jones and Dan Blake behind him. And yeah, absolutely fantastic drive from Alex Rivette, who comes round the final corner to take the win in race 2.
Beautiful job. Jones in second, Blake is in third. Who gets third place in the class? It's Ainsworth in front of Hardy. Eaglestone making a late run for the podium. Then we have Andy Maxwell and all the other drivers joining with him. Scott Malcolm, what could have been for him? It's only P10, 11th for Watton, and we have Samson getting passed by Mick Barry there. And then we have the guys who had a little bit of trouble during the race. Carl Jacolette, Ben Sharp, you see Edward May, Steve Cooley, David Ayers, they are all on the lead lap. And so they will be eligible for the reverse. Let's go and check once again what happened in the first corner. Let's see. Oh, it's still a bit too late. Trying to find a sweet spot for this, because it wasn't maybe here. Not here. I promised I am getting to the bottom of this. I want to show the replay of what happened. But it's tough to say what happened there, because it's not recorded in the incident report. But I don't know why Oliver then decided to park the car there. Maybe he had some big damage, or he was a little bit, sorry for what happened. So Steve Cooley crosses the start-finish line. Apologies for missing that very important replay, but Alex Rivette is the race winner. And now Ryan will take you through the race results for race 2.
Yeah, absolutely. As the results just waiting to pop up on screen now, and here we go. results for race 2 as they appear. Alex Rivette takes the win in race 2. Craig Jones takes a fantastic second place for Result Clothing. Dan Blake finishes in third place by Easy Pro Driver. Fourth place is Anthony Ainsworth. Fifth place is Carl Hardy. Sixth place is James Eaglestone. Seventh place is Andy Maxwell. Eighth place is Mikey Key. Ninth place is John Moore. Scott Malcolm finishes in 10th after having a terrific run at the front and unfortunately had issues with having a spin in the exit of the final corner. 11th place is Simon Wotton. 12th place is Mick Barry. 13th is Martin Sampson. 14th place is Carl Jackalate. 15th is Ben Sharp. 17th is Edward May. 17th is Steve Cooley. 18th place is David Ayres. And then finishing in 19th and rounding out the results is Ryan Oliver in 19th place.
Yes, and Ryan Oliver as well eligible for that reverse grid since he's only one lap down. And so let's see what the Wheel of Fortune says. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. And I am wasting a bit of time because I closed it accidentally. So I need to get back on the screen. It should be on your screen right now. So let's roll it. Not going to be for Ryan Oliver, it's a full -1. And this means Ryan, David Ayres is on pole position, Steve Cooley is in second. Once again, he gets the front row seat for the race. Edward May, Ben Sharp, Carl Jackalette will be in 5th place. So another chance for Steve Cooley, I'd say. David Ayres is a very quick driver. He certainly knows how to stay in the lead of an MX5 pack in the BSR leagues. And there are all these drivers, Jackalette, Sharp, May, and of course Rivette, Jones, Blake, we saw from the pits. All the quick drivers that will have to start from the back and trying to make their way up to the front. Of course, knowing that there is no race 4. So this is the final chance for many of these drivers to redeem themselves, so to speak, and have, go home, go to bed, go to work, wherever the time zone is, on a positive note. So usually that's why race 3 it's a little bit more feisty, because everyone is trying to get a good result to finish the day on a positive note. So I think we are in for a fantastic race 3 in just a few minutes, no?
Absolutely. Don't go away. Remember to join us for race 3, which is coming up in a few moments' time. But until then, me and Marco is going to go away for a few moments and have a commercial break. But don't forget to check out the World GT broadcast, which is currently running on the iRacing Esports Network and being broadcast by Apex Racing TV as well. So something to occupy you until race 3 comes up in a few moments' time. But until then, me and Marco will be back with you very soon.
Punch it. Great job, you did really well.
Alfala is $10,500 richer. Two-time NASCAR legend is your 2013 NASCAR iRacing. It's going to be Humpy winning the race, and it's going to be Conti taking away his first NASCAR.
2017 NASCAR Beginner Free Series Championship to Ryan Luza. Federer is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Beginner Free's iRacing Series.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Apex Racing TV here in the BSR MX5 Monday Cup for race 3. And as we move to race 3, here's the grid up on your screen. David Dare starts in first position alongside him is Steve Cooley. Edward oh, my bad. Edward May in third place, fourth place is Ben Sharp, fifth place is Carl Jackalate. Sixth place is Martin Sampson, seventh place is Mick Barry, eighth place Simon Wharton, ninth place Scott Malcolm, 10th place John Muir, 11th place Mikey Keat, 12th place Andy Maxwell, 13th place is James Eaglestone, 14th is Carl Hardy, 15th is Anthony Ainsworth, 16th is Dan Blake, 17th is Craig Jones, 18th place is Alex Rivette, and rounding out the grid in 19th is Ryan Oliver. As we're just waiting for the lights to come on, and we should be underway for the final race of the evening. And as we talk about the lights, here they come. And once they go out, we'll be underway. As David Dares gets a great start off the line, but so does Steve Cooley. And right behind them is Edward May. And also behind Edward May is teammate Ben Sharp as they head into the final, into turn 1. And it looks like Edward May tries to make a move up the inside of David. Yeah, it looks like everyone's made it through turn 1 clean and no issues so far. But yeah, we know what's happened in Eau Rouge in race 1 and race 2, and let's see if everyone can make it through Eau Rouge without any issues in race 3. As just looking throughout the field, and it looks like everyone's made it through relatively clean. Marco.
Yes, I noticed that Steve Cooley took it super easy, dropping down to P6. But I'm happy to report that everyone made it through the first couple of corners. Now, of course, the final very tough test, this hard-braking chicane. May is in first. Look behind him because there are cars all over the place. Once again, everyone seems to be taking it extremely easy, which is very, very nice. A little bit of an off-track there for Mick Barry, but apart from that...
Absolutely, just looking back up at the front as well. Currently, the leader on lap 1 is Edward May. David Dares is in second. Ben Sharp's in third place, and looking throughout the field as well, everyone's managed to make it through the first few corners without any issues, and no issues to report. But David Dares.
David Dares is around, and that's some big damage to his car, and that's the end of his race. It was very weird, Ryan. Let's get a replay of that from his onboard.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm just riding on board the front. Oh, he just got sideways.
Yeah, he lost the car. I thought of an hardware failure, but he just lost the car. That corner there, Puon, is so slippery. Even in ideal, grip conditions, and even in cars that don't have grip problems. For example, the Skip Barber, even though now the new tire model there, but it's always a tricky corner, and it takes just a little bit of a mistake getting into there, or maybe doing something wrong with the way the car is positioned, and around you go. And we lost already one of the protagonists. Then David Dares, the pole sitter, he is out of the race as the battle for P2 infuriating now with Carl Jackalate, Ben Sharp side by side into the final chicane. Always a chance for contact, and a little bit of a shoulder barge there for Jackalate. It's a corner where, especially if you don't have 3 monitors or a visor, 3D visor, virtual reality, it's very, very tough to see who is on your right or left side.
Yeah, absolutely. As Ben Sharp tries to make a move up the inside of Jackalate, but Jackalate is managing to hold second position at the moment, and also Ben Sharp has to watch because issues in turn 1.
Anthony Ainsworth, no, it's James Eaglestone, one of the one of the quicker drivers of the night. Has been involved there in a spin, contact some other guys as this pack there is running up through Rouge and Raidillon. As we go back to the front, because behind Edward May we have quite the quartet there with Sharp, Jackalate, Barry and Key.
Absolutely, as it looks like Mick Barry's tried to make a move up the inside of one of the Fury Simsport cars, but Carl Jackalate manages to pounce on Mick Barry and pick up a position from him. Jackalate up into third place, and in front of Jackalate is Ben Sharp and Edward Mayfont, currently leading a 1-2 for Fury Simsport at the moment, but there's still a long way to go in this race.
Exactly. Once again, 15 minutes the scheduled distance. As behind them I see Mikey Key getting by his teammate Mick Barry there for 4th and 5th. Andy Maxwell always in a battle. This time is with Steve Cooley. They are battling it out for 7th and 8th place. As that is Carl Hardy taking a detour to the runoff area there. Lucky for him that now we have tarmac there instead of the grass and gravel that we used to have before the 2005 renovation works, 2006 renovation works, sorry. Season where Spa wasn't in the calendar, if I'm not mistaken. It came back in 2007.
I believe. Yeah, I was about to say I believe Spa wasn't on the calendar in 2006 due to the work on the track, as you mentioned, Marco. But it was back in the calendar in 2007. But yeah, since they done the work they done that work to the track, I feel that Spa is not the same as it used to be. But especially without the old bus stop, it just doesn't have that nostalgic feel for it anymore.
Exactly. They changed it once because I think the track was off the schedule for a couple of seasons before 2005, 2000, and I think in the very, very early 2000s they skipped 1 or 2 seasons as well, as Jackalate is now up to P2, and then they skipped 1 more season, and then luckily it has never left the calendar up until now. So as we have a 3 wide going into the chicane here, into the hairpin. Man, I'm really off the pace tonight. Ben Sharp, let's go back to the leader then. Ben Sharp, we are getting closer to the halfway mark of race 3, and he's in the lead. His teammate Edward May has been pushed back to P3. Year 1 Racing's Carl Jackalate is in 2nd, and Resort Clothing Mikey Key is in 4th, with Mick Barry losing a bit of contact there, and also Scott Malcolm is also a Result Clothing guy, getting the move done on his teammate there.
That was as well.
We lost Ben Sharp for a second. Jackalate went into the lead. Then once again, Jackalate relinquishing the lead. It's all happening. There's some contact. Edward May, can he save it? He can. What a fantastic save. Now sideways once again. He will drop from 1st to 4th, but that is better than the opposite, which is, crashing. Let's see, something must have happened there into the chicane. And the event viewer in Spa is so tricky to get through to what you want to see. We will try regardless. No, it's already too late.
As we look at the replay of Ben Sharp.
Yeah, let's watch it. Yeah, let's watch it save again, because I mean, look at that.
Whoa. That was I'll give him 10 out of 10 for holding that. But yeah, I bet Ben Sharp's heart was firmly in his mouth at that moment. But yeah, he managed to hold it, and he's managed to keep going, and he's not that far behind the top 3 cars in front of him. So he's not out of contention for this one just yet.
And most importantly, I'm seeing from his own board, his steering looks straight, because when you get, even sometimes with the smaller hits to the rear quarter panel, this car tends to get some suspension damage, and that's game over for you in a short race like this. He seems to be okay. Now Jackalate on the outside, Key on the inside. The 3 most represented teams are fighting it out for the win. Fury, Year 1 and Result Clothing. With, you see, the other 2 guys from Result Clothing, Malcolm and Barry, not far behind. And sideways from Sharp. Another nice save there.
Whoa.
But you want to avoid that as much as possible, as May is trying to get one of his positions back, side by side with McKee down into Eau Rouge Raidillon.
Yeah, both of the. Oh, I thought there was going to be contact between Key and May there, but yeah, I thought. Oh, as Key gets sideways on the. Yeah, Key gets sideways on the exit of Ruse. That was well held.
It was, and also we might have a move for the lead. Just in front of us, Carl Jacolet getting the draft, moving on the outside for Lecombe, rubbing doors.
Jeez, a bit of a shoulder barging again. Whoa.
Oh no! Mikey Key is
contact behind.
around.
As Key gets going again, but that was unfortunate for Key. Just a bit. Excuse me. Yeah, just a bit of issues for Key, and unfortunately he spun round. He got spun round, and yeah, unfortunately lost a couple of positions. But yeah, look at on board with Ben Sharp at the moment. Then behind him is second place Carl Jacqueline, and third place is Fury Simsport teammate Edward May, rounding out the top three, and not far behind. I think it's looking at this. The top three have managed to break away from Mick Barry behind them. So yeah, it could be it looks like the battle for the one is between Ben Sharp, Carl Jacqueline, and Edward May.
Yes, Mick Barry and Scott Malcolm are doing their own race there in the back, not risking too much, as Mikey Key, Alex Rivette, Maxwell Hardy. We haven't forgotten about these guys, but the fight for the lead has been great all night long, but especially in this third race, we are having so many surprises, and no lead is ever safe, apparently, tonight.
As we're just looking at this battle for seventh place at the moment between Alex Rivette and Mikey Key, but also look at this park marker. There's just so many cars in this this line of cars. It's so hard to separate them. As we look back up at the front with Ben Sharp, Carl Jacqueline.
Oh, 3 wide for the lead!
3 wide into the final corner.
Now it's May and Jacolette banging doors and wheels as all three of them get a nice off track there in the final corner. As I think we have 2 more laps to go, if I'm not mistaken. Despite the contact, May gets his fastest lap of the race, 2:49.8. And hopefully all 3 of these guys manage to get away from the situation without too much damage. I'm seeing that Carl Jacolette, like I think all of the races tonight, has some damage to the front end of his car. Also, Ben Sharp, look at that, front left of his hood, you can see clearly from the onboard shot. Quite damaged. Edward May seems to be in a better shape than his 2 rivals, as they go once again fanning out for Lecombe.
May's got the run in Sharp, but yeah, May moves up into the lead from his teammate Sharp, and Carl Jacqueline is still behind them in third place. But also, don't forget, if any of these 3 guys slip up, behind them is Mick Barry and Scott Malcolm, and one of them could pounce if any of these 3 slip up and possibly take the one. So yeah, this battle for the one is far from done.
Yes, and we might see if towards the end of the race, maybe we see. I mean, May tried to go for the race win in the first race, then he went wide, spun, and finished in 4th, going backwards. So I think as always, the rule is you can race with your teammate, but you don't hit your teammate. The problem is, of course, when you have a third guy in the fight, and this guy is from another team, you want to win the race, but I think the last thing you want to do is cost you and your teammate the win and letting a guy from another team win, So we'll see if, of course, May is in front right now, and he has the better car than the 2 opponents, so it makes sense for him to stay in front and trying to pull away. But you see, with the way this track is shaped and the way this car works, even with a damaged race car, you can see that Sharp and Jacolette are quite easily able to keep very close, and now Sharp goes for the lead. So maybe, I'm sure there is also a little bit of communication between the 2 of them, because that seemed like a very, very easy pass to do, almost like swap drafting on the ovals, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it looked like it was they were communicating, as you say, Marco, because yeah, there wasn't really much fighting between them as they headed up to Bonsimont, and as they crossed the line, we crossed the line to start the final lap.
Yes, the white flag is in the air then.
Also, Carl Jacqueline is trying to make a move up the inside into turn one, on up the inside of May. Uh, can Jacqueline try and get a good exit on the exit of turn one, but it doesn't look like it. May manages to hold the position as they head up to Eau Rouge.
Chocolate wants to make this move, I think, because he knows that May is the one that has the car in better shape, so if he can get past May, then he might also have a chance to go by Sharp, who has similar damage to him, as they go once again for the final time tonight on the Camel Straight. And let's see what happens here as they almost go 3 wide.
Jacqueline is trying to make the. Ooh, I thought there was going to be contact between May and Jacqueline there, but May manages to hold the position, and I think May might be maybe might be acting as security for Ben Sharp possibly.
Oh,
Is it?
and he sends the car an half send, I would say, not a full send there, as we get once again some nice view of the trees there, as Sharp goes a bit wide there, but there's some AstroTurf there, so no issues for him. Another off track, but in the final lap, I think if you manage them quite well during the race, you can afford to spend some here and there in order to get you home safely. There is nothing between these top 3 guys. I would like to see one time, maybe, you know, one of the next races, maybe a finish where the top 3 guys are all from 3 different teams, because then we could see fireworks. But this is quite good as well. I mean, we know that they are not hanging back as Sharp, the double right-hander, near, or should I say in front of the karting track, is in the lead. As for the final time, Ryan, they get ready to do the double Blanchimont and then bus stop. Who is going to win this race?
Oh, it's tough to predict, but May tries to make a move up the inside of his teammate. I think if Sharp defends the inside line from his teammate, I think Sharp's got this in the bag.
Will Jacolet send it on the inside? No. May once again is on the outside. He's not going backwards. Good for him.
Oh, Jacqueline's off track. Ben Sharp is going to cross the line and take the final race of the evening in race 3.
Yeah, Jacolet is in second. Great run there.
Cal Jacqueline finishes second. Edward May finishes in third to round out the top 3.
Using... oh, look at that behind them. As we have Cooley, Maxwell, Eaglestone, Oliver, Sampson and Watton all coming towards the start-finish line. And Watton is actually the final. Look at the guys that finished the race. They were all very, very close to each other. We had some retirements along the way, but all the 16 drivers that finished, Ryan, they were super close to each other. Not a big gap. That was a very, very enjoyable race and a very, very deserved winner in Ben Sharp for Fury Simsport. And I think that for the final time tonight, we can go through the race results.
Absolutely fantastic race in race 3 to round out the evening. So yeah, results are up on your screen right now. Ben Sharp takes the race in the final race of the evening. Second place is Carl Jacqueline. Edwin May rounds out the top 3. Fourth place is McBarry. Fifth place is Scott Walcombe. Sixth place is Dan Blake. Seventh place is Alex Rivette. Eighth place is Carl Hardy. Ninth place is Mikey Key. 10th place is Anthony Ainsworth. Steve Cooley finishes in 11th. Andy Maxwell finishes in 12th. James Eaglestone finishes in 13th. Ryan Oliver finishes in 14th. Martin Sampson finishes in 15th, I should say. Simon Watton finishes in 16th. Craig Jones finishes in 17th, one lap down. And John Moore, I believe, finished the race or retired. But I think he finished, but he was 4 laps down. and then David Dares is in 19th, but unfortunately retired from the race. As a
Ryan, basically the entire field in 30 seconds in a track like Spa, it's not that much.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Francorchamps, sorry, because of the long nature of the track, but the slipstream, it's pretty hard to separate the pack. And yeah, I have to say, Marco, that was absolutely fantastic racing to commentate on. And as always, it's been a pleasure commentating on it with you. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Absolutely, and also we have, I think, some drivers lined up for some interviews. So, Ryan, you pick the driver
Uh,
that we start with.
Let me have a look on Discord. I will. Who can I go for? I will. Yeah, I'll go for Ben Sharp.
Let's go with the race winner of the race 3 then, Ben Sharp. And he should be with us right now. It's all yours, Ryan.
Thank you, Marco. And yeah, Ben, I have to say that was it looked like a fun evening out there, and yeah, I have to say as well, congratulations on the win on the win in race 3. And how did it go from your perspective tonight?
Yeah, it went really well tonight. We all worked really well as a team in qualifying. We got the taco train going, and we had 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure we had a fourth in as well. And it went really well. It's such a hard track. I felt really quick here, but the problem is you can't break the toe. So no matter what you do, you can't pull away. But yeah, really happy with that. I had 2 wins tonight. That's first time on the podium for Fury. Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, I have to say it looked like you guys were working well together, and it looked like your teammate in race 3, he had a run on you a few times in race 3 as well. Was there any communication going on for most of the race? Kind of was it kind of like was there any team orders, or was it just not go balls out, but were you allowed to race?
Yeah, we were fully allowed to race. We were talking to each other the whole time and just said like, if it's a clean move, go for it. I said like I'd say I'm going to the inside, I'm staying there. If you can go around the outside, go for it. Yeah, it was pretty close, I think. I've never been so sweaty after a race, that's for sure.
But yeah, I have to say it was good to see you doing well tonight. And before we finish, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to, or any thanks, teammates or sponsors?
Well, main big thanks is to Martin Plowman, who I was his mechanic last year. So he spotted me in a session and said you should come join the team. And without that, I wouldn't even be racing this BSR. So big thanks to him. And yeah.
Good to hear. Well, thanks for joining us, Ben, and we look forward to seeing you on track next week. And yeah, it's good to see you do well tonight, and hopefully we'll see more of the same next week.
I hope so, mate. But unfortunately, I can't do next week because I'm in.
Ah,
I work for the new W series as a mechanic, so I'm in Spain next week, so I can't make that one. But I'll make as many of them as I can.
okay. Thanks for joining us, Ben, and we'll see you next time.
Yep, thank you.
So yeah, back over to you, Marco. And who would you like to take next?
Well, I was going back to what Ben just said. I was thinking about going to the DTM Misano round in June, and the W Series is going to be there as well. So, maybe I can get some, pass to the pit lane area. Who knows? Yeah, I would love to see DTM live. So, and also there's the former European Formula 3, now the Formula European Masters with the Dallara that we have on iRacing, not the new F3. But yeah, let's get Alex. Sorry, we will get Alex Rivette, winner of race 2. Hello, Alex.
Hi there, how are you?
Doing fine, doing fine. Congratulations on the race 2 win. It has been an interesting night for you guys, especially some absolutely, involuntary contact between some of you. But I mean, that's the nature of Spa-Francorchamps with all the drafting, and if a guy in front of you makes a mistake, teammate or not, it's very tough to avoid contact sometimes because you are driving all nose to tail with each other, and then you find a car in front of you all of a sudden, and yeah. But I mean, congratulations for the win, and tell us about your evening.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you for that. Yeah, it was unexpected, to be honest. There was I've managed to find my way through the field quite well there, I think, and the team also did really well finding their way through the field. So it's been a lot better evening than ever anticipated, which has been it's been really nice.
I mean, we talked just a few seconds ago with Ben Sharp, and I think you can reciprocate the what he was saying about the draft being so big that even when you have a car that is not 100%, it's still possible here at Spa to stay close to your opponents, which is good but also bad, because if you have a better pace than your opponents, it's very tough to get them off your back, basically, no?
Yeah, no, it's a really good circuit for that, because if you're qualifying in the top 10, you're still in it to win it. It's like having a rope attached to you and all the guys in front and behind you. And, you've got two massive straights on that circuit, and that dictates the race. To be honest, you get a few people trying to put a cheeky nose on the corners, but there's no point, because they'll just get taken back on the straights. So it's such a great circuit, especially for anyone new who's wanting to give it a bit of a shot and get a good result.
One more question then. Next week, it's Imola, track where is the opposite of this. Very, very tough to pass, very few straights. You need to qualify well, I think, in Imola if you want to get a good result. Even though the tow is, in this car, it's quite significant, but really there is only one place where you can really get your tow from the car in front, and that's being the final corner into the first chicane.
Yeah, so it's going to require a bit more practice from the team, I think. But once we get those hot laps done, then we'll, aim to keep the consistency up, and I don't see why we can't come away with some more good results.
Thank you very much, man. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
I'd just like to say thank you to Graham Sefsford again. He couldn't be here today, as well as Dale. Cheers to Year One Racing, and thank you to you guys.
Thank you very much, man. Catch you next week for the Imola round.
Definitely. Cheers.
Ryan, we got a driver from Year One, a driver from Fury. Let's say we get a driver from Result Clothing, and it's your pick between Craig Jones and Scott Malcolm.
Well, since I'm Scottish, it's I think it's only fair that I take another Scotsman into the booth. So yeah, I'll take Scott Malcolm, and yeah, thanks for joining us, Scott. How did it go from your point of view tonight?
I had loads of fun out there tonight. I thought I'd raced two in the bag. I thought I'd all sorted out, but these things happen. But ended up with two top tens, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it looked like you were going pretty well tonight. As you say, you were in contention for the one in race two until unfortunately you had issues on the exit of the final corner with another car. I can't remember who it was that you had issues with, but yeah, you had that spin on the exit of the final corner, which was unlucky because. Yeah, it was good to see you. It was good to see you doing well up until that point, and I reckon if it didn't happen, I think you could have had that one in the bag. But yeah, it's. I mean, you still got points this evening and some top 10 results, so it's got to. I guess that's it. It's better than nothing.
Oh yeah, aye. Like I said, two top tens. That'll do me. The time being, and I'll just take it over to tomorrow night and see how we fare.
Absolutely, yeah, just with I think we're at Imola next week as well. Is it a track you like to race on? Is there you had any decent results around there?
I like racing Imola. I don't think I've ever done it in the MX5 yet. I ever think about that, but it should be a good track for these weekends.
Good stuff. Before you go, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to or any thanks to before you go?
I better make sure I don't say the wrong sponsors here. But I just like to thank Result Clothing and all the Result Clothing guys for taking me on board, giving me this opportunity to try and help them out, and obviously you guys for putting on the broadcast every week.
Thanks, Scott, and thanks for joining us for an interview, and we look forward to seeing you on track next week, and also on track tomorrow in the Tuesday series.
Yeah, I'll be definitely on tomorrow night. See what happens next week.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for joining us, Scott, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
I think is there anyone else that you want to interview, Marco, or is that?
I think it's okay for tonight because I mean we got democracy, you know, one from each team. But yeah, I mean I would love to interview everyone, but time constraints are sadly a thing even in the virtual broadcasting world, you know. But and also because before we go, we have to give a rundown of what's coming in the next few days here on Apex Racing TV, and of course we have the World GT, which I think it's about to end over on the iRacing Esports Network, Ryan. But tonight at midnight GMT, we have the Ricmotech series from Laguna Seca. It's 1 hour earlier than usual because in the USA they are already to the daylight saving time, whilst we will switch over on Sunday. So next week some of the broadcast will be, we will keep you up to date, but some broadcasts will change, some will not. For example, this one will not, will always start at the same time. But some others, like the Euro V8s, will be 1 hour later than usual. But once again, we'll keep you up to date. If you are an early riser, tomorrow morning, I think we have a nice IMSA Sports Cars Championship official race from Watkins Glen. It's at 8:45 GMT. So get your alarm clock ready and join us there if you want with Scott Newton and the rest of the Oceanic crew of Apex Racing TV. Same time as tonight, the MX5 Pro Series is at Spa tomorrow. And on Wednesday, we have another doubleheader. World F3 Championship from Donington at 8:15 GMT. And 1 hour earlier, we have the iRacing Le Mans Series from Monza at 7 GMT, official Le Mans Series, of course. Thursday, the Dynamics Sim World GT Series from Brands Hatch at 20 GMT. Saturday at 6 GMT, Euro V8 Championship Round 6 from Zolder. And then, of course, next Monday, once again, we will be back here at the same time for World GT on the iRacing Esports Network, and the MX5s from Imola, basically starting both of them at 8 GMT. So Ryan, we have a nice week planned and a lot of great races, and we have this new broadcast race for the Australian and Oceanic time zone, East Asia, for the IMSA series, which is very, very nice to put those drivers in the spotlight for once. But also for some of the early risers in Europe, if you want to join there, or the guys that stay up late at night in North America, because it's more or less 2-3 in the night for the East Coast. So not ideal, but it's a nice event. And also Watkins Glen is going to be fantastic tomorrow morning. So I'm very happy that we broadcast all this series, and especially now both the official iRacing Le Mans series and the official IMSA series, Ryan. They are two of the best series to race in and to commentate because of the beautiful cars, the multi-class action. There's always something to be excited about there. And especially coming off the nice real-life doubleheader in Sebring this past weekend, I'm always happy and always hungry for some sports car racing. And I don't know about you, but I know you are a big fan, so you must be very happy about this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's good to see some. It's good to see other series like. I mean, I used to commentate in the IMSA series a few seasons back, probably 2 years ago, I think it was, with I think it was Adam Bath and Andrew Woodhouse I used to commentate on the IMSA series with on a Sunday afternoon when they done the strength of field races, and it's good to see it being broadcast again for in the Aussie and the Aussie and Asia time zone, and yeah, it's good to see Apex Racing TV expanding to an Aussie time zone as well. So yeah, it's great to see that, and it's nice to see. And also, before we go as well, just I thought I'll just give a quick reminder as well that there's ways to keep up to date with us or follow us on social media. As always, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, give us a follow on Twitch, also give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and also give us a follow on Instagram. And also, you can visit the Apex Racing TV website at the www.apexracingtv.com, and also find out more about our iRacing apps at the sdkgaming.co.uk, and yeah, check them out. And also, yeah, I don't think there's any more to add, Marco.
No, just that on Fridays and on Sundays we have a spot available to broadcast your league. So if you want to broadcast your league, I mean even on the other nights, but Friday and Sundays you will be all alone on. You have the spotlight on Apex Racing TV. So if you want to get your league broadcasted, just drop us a line and we will answer you very very quickly on Facebook. Especially you can contact us there, and one of us will respond to you in just a few minutes. So if you want Fridays and Sundays, we are available.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's I was going to call it a wrap, or as they say in America. But so yeah, thanks to anyone that's been watching this evening. As always, it's been a pleasure commentating on the MX5 Monday Cup with you, Marco, and I look forward to more of the same next Monday. But yeah, thanks to everyone that's been watching, and we will see you next time, and take care.